Okay, so it appears as though our downside targets did work out here for the for the shorter term. And we were speaking of a retracement here down to the 190 area, right, guys? So the support range was an updated range that we put together here from an earlier thread of analysis where we were talking about 196 to 190, right? So that also did meet, right? But the thing is that I feel like that we could be maybe dabbling into a lower bound, which introduces a liquidity pocket. So if we have a liquidity zone below, well, that would absolutely assist in a further buying power, right? So it would be kind of a you're kind of scooping into the liquidity pool, right, to where there could be a lot of bulls waiting. Will that happen? Well, I guess we're going to have to go ahead and find out on this episode. Welcome back, everybody, to the channel. Please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, do everything necessary to get this thing to live long, thrive, and survive. My name is Arca. I'm coming at you here on Monday, September 8th from a cooler Los Angeles, California, and it is 10:41 p.m. Pacific time. Price action closing in the post market here for Nrgv 195, and it appears as though we also got the let's see, intraday close was 93, so a little bit of a bounce to the upside there in the post hours. And do we continue? That's the problem, right? Remember that we spoke on the last thread of analysis that we spoke of, we mentioned the potentials of what could be kind of a head and shoulders, right? So which presents kind of a bearish thesis here, right? And that's why we have these lower bound targets here to observe. I mean, we never really put down the true, the hard targets on this, right? So I guess we can just do it now here fairly quickly. Let's go ahead and just open up this, this chart here in a larger time frame. Okay, so the bottom side is actually very confluent to a couple zones here. That's pretty impressive, I gotta say, but it would have a little bit of trouble reaching exactly there, as I do see some other zones of rejection like this one here, right? So this probably would be better viewed from a larger time frame, maybe even in the monthly time frame, right, guys? So yeah, here's your hard target, right? In this upside, very nice. It is showing the potentials of a support bound that could be this magnificent gap on a monthly time frame, right? Okay, so now that we have the probabilities of a zone where price action can actually invalidate continuation, that shows you an extended liquidity pocket too. Now, do we have other areas that we can invalidate for downside? Well, it appears as though there could be one right about at that point there. Is it a gap though? Well, let's go ahead and find out to see if we have any gap information here. This would be the opening basis of this candle would be, let's see, 187. Closing basis on this would be 187. Okay, tight. It's a tight close there, so that would be confluence at that point. So confluence at this point, plus your gap bottom at around 174, can add a little bit of a zone for us to observe. And I will say that this candle here, right, that has a fair bit of confluence historically too. Okay, so I think that would be the best way to observe a potential I guess we can de-escalate this the potential of lower targets in reality, right? So why don't we go ahead and do that, right? Let's just go ahead and kind of point this out to be around these targets here, right? And then we could draw what could be a focus zone and, take a look at that, right? We're already kind of looking for that target anyway. So this is already making me feel comfortable enough to maybe bring down the price action to this secondary zone right about at the top of this monthly candle, which is your February 2025 top. All right, good stuff. So yeah, let's go ahead and see if we can't maybe just in a very heavily discretionary manner, color it green, right? We're looking for potential entries long, because this is just in reality facing a pullback based on a few time frames that close, specifically a weekly, right? I think we also closed a 5-day. We can go ahead and double check on all those time frames as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and now come back down to a more granular time and start observing what those lows could look like, right? So yeah, there we go. It does appear as though there's a target here, right? That's all good. But that's only suggesting that we would actually make it to this low. It's saying that if we did fail this top end where we were already signaling a potential bear trap, then your lower bound support would be here. So I want to just leave you kind of per se ready, right, for one of those potential drawdowns there, and have you be eternally aware over the risk potentials here. Okay, team. I don't remember. I'm not saying that it is going to go there. In fact, we can go ahead and just validate this via volatility and momentum. And we'll just go ahead and do that. We'll go ahead and do that, team. We're just going to go ahead and put the receipts here for, let's see. There we, yeah, we're going to be a little bit higher there. There we go. Perfect. And then we'll go ahead and move on. Perfect. Okay, so this is looking pretty dang special right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at your daily time frame and find out what time frames we have that are closing. So naturally speaking, right, we close this daily bar, there could be a retracement that's worth around 50% this daily bar, and there is a fair bit of resistance at this point here, and very confluent resistance at that. So that marks off roughly around 40% the daily bar in retracement. So why don't we go ahead and mark that off first, right? We're gonna do this. Let's see. Can I actually? You know what? That is very nice. I'm gonna use this lower bound first, and let me see what this one is. That's already too close in proximity. 195 is currently where we're sitting. And yeah, I guess we're going to have to do, yeah, it looks like the 197 is definitely going to have to be the one, but that's already so close to our 199 top. But it doesn't matter that the 199 is above us. What we're doing here is giving us a higher probability resistance range before we can face a potential downside, because we technically still have this bottom side area to look for as liquidity. The reason we bounced off of this zone today is because we have an existing gap on the daily time frame right about here, guys, right there. So what I mean by continuation is this, right? So you still have kind of a wick diving in beyond this gap here. It doesn't mean that we're going to go there. It doesn't mean that we're not. It just means that we have the probabilities of it. Now let's just go ahead and work the magic. Let's bring the immediate short term to the front end focus here. Let's start off without the drawings, and volatility and momentum will be the instruments here, and we'll use the 2-minute time frame first. Okay, so here's your 2-minute time frame. Very nice upside here, uptick in the last minute of your post market. So that actually shifted an upside here on both the 1-minute and 2-minute time frames, with volatility expanding. The 3-minute time frame is also feeling that upside here with expansion as well. The 3-minute cascading into the 4-minute very nicely. We're expanding into the 5-minute with an upside posturing too. 10-minute time frame upside looking good. 15 still on the upside, a little contractive. Looks like we're about to start facing the upper bounds here, and these are going to start showing some volatility expansion soon enough, right? So now remember this, right? The larger the time frame, the more difficult it is for the stochastic momentum and the volatility in linear to read the change before the open of the next bar. So we truly would benefit from closing this and then opening the next bar for you to see the actual effects of this existing candle. So just a little more patience, and then we'll be able to see what it did, right? So nice, I mean, huge hourly bar here with an upside posturing on that. So let's see, this is your oversold 4, 5, 6, 7, 10. So this was 11 bars of oversold, and we're roughly at around a 6.14 average on that. So let's see, bi-hourly time frame, it's still not pivoted to the downside here, guys. So we're still suggesting upside into the 2. The 3-minute time frame still, a 3-hourly time frame still has that upside. That kink on the yellow still has the upside. 6-hour time frame would be the better observation here. And should we open the market at 195, this is telling you that you have about 11 cents on tap for existing upside. So this could be taking you to roughly 206, and 206, let's go ahead and find out where it is. So statistically speaking, the opportunity of $2.06 can take you to a hard target of roughly 2. Let's see, do we have any confluence anywhere there? Oh, well, you know what? It would be 206, guys. There's a gap there. What I'm looking for really is the is rhyming on the downside. My goodness. I mean, 203 to 206, I guess, would be it. That's a pretty nice upside here, guys. So yeah, 203. Oh, well, I mean, we already kind of have it there. Right. All right. So, so then, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of 203 to 206. I wonder if I want to get rid of the larger channel, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and draw a newer support here, 203, and that's a very nice area, guys. 203 to just about 206. It feels right. It absolutely feels right. And by the way, this red, pretty much no downside all the way to that 6-hour time frame. So from the 6-hour time frame, there appears to be some downside, and there appears to be some downside with expansion, but I think this is going to start slowing down because this bar was very small in comparison. Guys, before we move on anymore, this is already so late in the video. I hate it. Please remember, guys, that when you join the Discord, there is going to be, very likely, there's going to be an imposter that is going to come up and message you, and the imposter would be in the form of me, shapeshifter. No, it's going to be a scammer, guys, a scammer. So make sure to stay away from them, as they're going to appear here with a similar image. Except they're probably not going to be featuring this negative thing to do not disturb, right? You can always reach out to me though, guys. I just have it there because, of course, they're not going to put that into their strategy, whatever it may be. So I also have an update here, right? That says I do not offer copy or mirror trades ever. I am the one and only Arca. Okay, guys, so make sure that it is me. I am using the server tag here, right? And also that I joined October of 2022. All right, guys, so know that. So that's just kind of a fair bit of a warning there, okay? I will never message you first. I will never friend you first either, okay, team? So now, and also, guys, please remember that now we have 14 seats left out of the 30 that we announced just a few days ago for the one-time fee for the new tier in our Discord membership. Before it reaches $59.99 per month, make sure to click in the description below of this video and get a one-time fee that will prevent you from paying a monthly fee forever. And this is going to be a grandfathered forever. Okay, guys, this is the assistance I'm asking for from my trading team as we progress into a more full service Discord with bots and all kinds of premium features. Okay, guys, I love you very much. Please consider it. All right, let's go ahead and now stop the shilling here and continue on the analysis. So perfect. We're looking at a potential upside continuation on this just for the immediate short term though. So if we are catching upside, that could be worth, downside starting from the 6-hour time frame, and that would be roughly around 203 to 206. Downside continues into the 8-hour, 12-hour daily. It looks like we still have downside into your 2-day time frame nicely. 3-day time frame still on that downside, still down onto the 4-day, 5-day, still downside here into the weekly. Almost done. There we go. We have about 1 month's worth of downside, and that could lead to an ATR low of 108. Okay, so if this is really suggesting a 108 low, well, that would probably have us invalidate that play in some way, shape, or form. Okay, guys, because 108 on this would literally be located right around this bottom side here. Not sure why it would suggest that, but it is there. Okay, guys, so let's go ahead and put the targets to the downside. Okay, there we go. That's at 108 there. Okay, so remember, team, that there is a massive monthly gap here that can completely invalidate any continuation to the downside. As you can see here on the monthly time frame, we have a new monthly open just around 8 days ago, or 9 days ago, right? And this is what it closed like, right? Volatility expansion, and we still have an upside posturing, in fact, entering into the bullish control zone of the stochastic momentum indicator. Okay, guys? So if it were up to me, right, I would be loading very carefully and just be as observant as you can, because you could face some very nice upside bounds from bouncing from these present zones. Okay, guys, so just heads up, but I am seeing that we could probably make a downside into well, I mean, if it really is a 6-hour time frame where it starts, your 6-hour has 11 cents on ATR, so that means that it'll take you to just about 180.84, right? 184-ish. And we have a 186 here, and we also have a 182 right about here. So yeah, I think that thesis is still working out. So now what's going to invalidate the continuation is not only the gap on the monthly, but it would be the rate of change. So should we have an immediate reaction and a balanced reaction to continue going up, up, and up, well, that would be an ideal situation for the bulls. But if it does continue into your lower targets, well, it's we do have a massive liquidity support area. That's 174, 179, and 182. That's what I'm seeing, right? But it doesn't mean that it is going to be what happens here, because I don't see any other. Well, I guess here maybe would be one zone to validate supports, maybe 159, but that's something that we already kind of did. So I'm thinking that this is just one gigantic bear trap, not only because of the monthly being opened here, but also because we have these huge closures there that are massively green. I don't think this is done. I don't think this is done with an upside, right? So let's wait for that pullback. Let's see how we react to that, and then observe the continuation to the upside. So far, guys, I'm going to be honest with you, right? I'm still presenting this as a highly likelihood of an upside. All right, team. So, yeah, I think this is a pretty good place to leave off. Please remember how the play is going to work out. Potential bounces to the upside from that zone that we spoke of, and then resistances to the upside are already kind of present, right? We have a 210 to 214, and potentially 218 to 220. All right, guys, let's see about this. Please be very careful out in the markets. Always take your gains when they are available. Do not let the markets take you the gains that you've already had, okay, that you already have. All right, team, so I think this is a pretty good place, and we shall speak very, very scary Larry soon. All right, adios, and adios. Please take whatever I do show and iterate within these videos as just a form of entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy, sell, or hold any assets whatsoever. I need you to do your own due diligence, and everything will be cool. But with that said, team, I wish you well, a very, very good rest of your night and or day, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios. Oh yeah.